Well, hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining me today. This is our Lenten online devotional that we've been doing during the season that goes along with our Vital Signs series. And every week we've been interviewing a special guest about the vital sign of the week, which this week is caring relationships. And if you didn't worship with us on Sunday, you can still hear Jody's sermon online, which was great. We're coming up on our last mark this Sunday on Palm Sunday, which there's a lot going on, but we hope that everybody will join us for worship. But today I'm going to talk with Kathy about caring relationships, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Yeah, hi Jenny. It's great to see you and love the background you got going on there.
Yes, I'm in Blue Ridge. I should have said that. Yeah, I'm up in Blue Ridge on the mission trip. I'm on the Millways front porch.
Wonderful. So yes, I'm Kathy Burt, and I have been a member at Pleasant Hill for, I was thinking about it this morning, like over 30 years, because my youngest son was born in 92. And we joined about a year before he was born. So yeah, it's been a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you involved in at Pleasant Hill? What's your Pleasant Hill look?
Yeah, my Pleasant Hill look. Yeah, so I've, of course, over 30 years been involved in a number of different committees, but right now, what I'm involved in is the Stephen Ministry program. I'm one of the 4 leaders for Stephen Ministry, and we are in the process of 50 hours of training for 9 Stephen ministers, and we're about to finish up. So it's exciting. It's a great group and such a great program that I'm very honored and touched to be a part of.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that's a big commitment. So I'm grateful that you're doing the work for it.
It is. And it's different in that I've enjoyed the other committees I've been on, but this one I have such a passion for that, it's been wonderful.
Yeah. And that kind of connects with, it's not unrelated to the kind of work that you do, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. Being a coach, I really enjoy, connecting with people and being there for people and helping them kind of find, their way in life, being with them when they're struggling with different things. So it fits right in there. And and that makes such a difference, when you're passionate about something. It makes a huge difference. And this is something that I just love. This whole program was developed by someone who's a minister as well as a psychologist, and all the material is just fabulous.
Yeah. It's a great program.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about caring relationships a little bit. What comes to your mind when you hear just that mark of caring relationships? What do you think that's all about?
Well, I think, I thought about it, I guess, first in terms of church and what is a vital sign for a church. And it's so core. It is such an integral part, I think, of a church community of, being there for people, walking with them through their different aspects, whether it's a joyful situation or, something that involves sorrow. But that, caring for people and that caring relationship, they're just so important. And they help us through, you celebrate with each other the good times, and and you help each other through with the times that are a little more difficult. And as I think about Pleasant Hill, I think about all the different ways that we kind of honor those caring relationships, and we're intentional about them. Like Stephen Ministry and the grief groups and the other like caregivers group, and even like in you working with the youth. One of the things that I heard recently is that you like to take the different youth members out for ice cream and enjoy sweets and give them kind of some one-on-one, time, and how caring that is to be with them and to be present and to be intentional about that relationship. So yeah, I think they're um, in fact, the other thing I thought about caring relationship is they make the world a better place. In terms of the compassion, sharing compassion and love, and kind of spreading that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've got it. So this overlapped well today.
Oh,
And today's happens to be empathy, which is a great word to connect with caring relationships. And so I am wondering how you see those connections happening, and if you have kind of personally experienced that intersection between empathy and caring relationships in your life.
yeah. So yeah, empathy is another one of those. I don't know, that are pieces that are so important to me, and particularly in a caring relationship, because empathy is it helps you understand where the other person is. It really is connecting with where they are, again, whether it's a happy time or a sorrowful time. And that's a real authentic relationship, part of a real authentic relationship. And it's a vulnerable place too, because it's to really be empathetic with the other person, you kind of have to connect with something that you've been through. And if you're sharing, you share something that you're going through, and the other person has to share something, or has to connect with something that they've gone through, to be able to connect with what you're feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's two ways.
Yeah. And it's vulnerable, and that it makes for such a special, a deeper level relationship than a surface kind of level. So yeah, it's like I said, it's an essential part of a caring relationship, in my mind anyway.
And you've done a lot of reading and work with Brené Brown and thinking about that. Yeah.
Yes. I love Brené Brown, and so I listen to a lot of her podcasts, and read a lot of her books, and she talks a lot about empathy. And again, she's the one who made that comment that I connected with, of how it takes that vulnerability, because again, we connect when we're being empathetic with somebody. We connect with something that we've been through, and some pain that we've been through. And yet the other thing, in fact, what I'm learning about empathy, to some degree in Stephen ministry, that's been part of the training as well. And it's like there's a diagram that we have about a mud hole. When somebody is struggling with something, they might be in a mud hole. And empathy is reaching for them and being there for them without getting stuck in the mud hole like they are.
Yeah.
So there's this great diagram that we have that I'll have to share with you sometime. That really is a picture that shows that so clearly.
Yeah, that's a good visual for sure.
Yeah, it's a great visual. So,
okay, I have one more question for you, and that is to think about a hope for how caring relationships could be further lived out in our church and in our community. You've named a lot of ways that they are, and that I think the Stephen Minister program is going to deepen that in some ways. But what are your hopes for caring relationships at Pleasant Hill?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. One is that there's so many ways at Pleasant Hill to build those caring relationships, and whether it's being involved in one of the committees, or being on Stephen ministry, and so I would hope that as you come into Pleasant Hill, that you find a committee that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Because as you get in there, you connect with people on a different level than seeing them at church on Sunday. And you build these, relationships, and learn more about each other. I mean, we do a lot of visiting with each other after church and before church and the fellowship table and that kind of thing. But being a part of these committees, makes really deepens those relationships. It takes them to another level. So I think there's that. And I also think I would really encourage anybody who is touched by this Stephen Ministry program to be a part of it, whether it's being a Stephen minister. And this training has taught us so much about not just caring for others in the church, but also in our daily, within our family and our daily life and our relationships. And then also the courage to be open to let a Stephen minister walk with you as you're going through something. Because it does take some courage to say, I'm struggling with this.
I need some caring for. Yeah.
Exactly. And to let, we're in this world that says, oh no, I'm strong and brave and I can handle this on my own. But to allow somebody to be there, with you and for you as you go through, and whatever it might be, whether it's a divorce or a loss of a loved one or a job change or an exciting time but a stressful time like a new mom, that might be stressed in that situation. So anyway, those are some of my hopes.
We all experience stress in different ways. And so, for some people, it might be a huge loss. And for some people, the stress is so big about kind of the everyday things. So,
Yeah.
Partner in all those things.
Yeah. And I know that, it's, we were talking earlier about, or you asked me earlier, I think, about the empathy and how that I've experienced that in my life, as I have been through things, like I went through a divorce a number of years ago, and friends being there that could say, oh, I know, or I can imagine what it feels like for you. I've been through a loss, and it's, you don't feel like you're alone. You feel like, and it's sometimes it's normalized, because sometimes you can think, oh, I should be feeling this or whatever. But it's been such a gift to have people, walk with me and be empathetic with me as I've gone through things. So I could talk about all this all day long. But I know
well, it sounds like a lot to hope for with caring relationships at Pleasant Hill. There's stuff moving and things happening. And so I hope people will take advantage of the Stephen Minister program, whether they are caregiving or being cared for.
Yeah.
So exactly. I had to wave and shush some group as they were coming back from the website. They're like, hi. And I was like, we're recording. So, that's what I was waving to. That's what I was doing.
I assume that's what was going on, but so everybody else knows.
It's fine though. It's good. We get work done out here. So well, thanks Kathy for talking with me today. Really appreciate it. And we hope that anybody watching today will think about how they might be involved in some of what Kathy's talked about, and that you'll come join us for the last vital sign this Sunday, which is ecclesial health, which really just means church health. And it's Palm Sunday, and there's brunch and egg hunt and animals and lots of Holy Week events coming up. So we hope y'all will worship with us and join us. Yeah.